Hey Kieran, I think we've got a new theme tune to this very special episode. Are you ready?
A new theme tune?
Here we go.
Is this Afghanistan?
Yeah. Mate, the boys are back and we're going to talk about them. Yes, hello and welcome back to the We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only podcast in the world that is fully sponsored by the Taliban. I am Turch, and with me is my co-host, the CEO, the big juicy steak of a man with all the trimmings and no salad. It's Kieran. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing really well, and that was a nice theme tune.
Oh, look,
there, Turch.
Look, if the Taliban, and we're going to get into it later on because there's some great news about them. If the Taliban can take over a whole country within 24 hours of America deciding to leave, that's amazing. That's got to be some kind of record.
It's pretty pretty amazing. Though technically it was 37 days, but I'll give you the 24-hour hype.
Look. It's pretty funny nonetheless. I mean, they had 20 plus years of training from the American government to get their to train their army up to make sure the Taliban never come back. 20 years of training, billions of dollars, missiles, this and that. And now
the Taliban just did a homer.
Yeah. And now the Taliban
that boxing, the boxing match where Homer just stands there and takes the beating and then just pushes them down.
That's pushes down. You know what? Now the Taliban have the second or the most Black Hawk helicopters in the world. That's
wow.
Oh man. Oh, amazing. And the guy that's the leader.
Probably everything. What was that?
I was going to say the leader of the Taliban now is like, I don't know, 25 years old. So think about this. His wife...
Well, he's a dictator for life.
Oh, no, but his wife wasn't even born when the Twin Towers came down.
Oh, my God.
Oh, but look, the Taliban are a private company, Kieran, and just like how Twitter could kick Donald Trump off their platform, the Taliban, as a private country, can kick anyone out of their country or do anything they like in the country that they own.
I've been fascinated, just fascinated.
I've just been writing jokes. Can you tell?
Just absolutely fascinated with what's occurred, and it's sort of a little bit like, I don't know what to make of it.
I can't believe that the Taliban have given their whole country less of a curfew than our state premier. Like, that's for me. So in Australia
North Korea has less of a curfew than what Melbourne has at the moment, and the Taliban has less of a curfew.
Correct.
Victoria, it truly is the police state.
If anyone really wants to know, Australia is currently... we're going to talk about it a little bit because, Australia is now in its about 2 millionth a day of lockdown, to the point of where they've decided that a curfew would be returned, and that means that you can't leave your house between 9 a.m. and 5 a.m. or something like that. Unless
Not 9 p.m. 9 p.m. and 5
p.m.
a.m.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And not only that, you can't, unless you have to go to work and you have to get a permit to go to work, which is amazing. On top of that, they've decided to shut down playgrounds for children. Can you believe they've shut down the playgrounds? That's
do you know what they should? You know what they should have done? If I was Premier, I'll tell you what I would have done, Turch. Please. I would have just said, you know what? It's a state holiday for the next 3 months. No work.
I would say more than 50% of people are out of work at the moment.
Yeah. Which would have been great because most people would have then left and gone to Queensland.
You can't even leave the state, mate, unless you got a reason. Jesus Christ. Far out. A ridiculous amount of lockdowns here. Sorry that we didn't do an episode last week, ladies and gentlemen. We were both just so... It's hard to write material when you physically can't leave the house.
Yeah, you can't... You can't go anywhere, therefore you have no stories.
That's right.
I mean, right now, Turch, I can tell you, I'll tell you all the stories that have happened, because I've been in isolation for. Well, I've got one more day of isolation, Turch.
Yeah.
Because exposed, so not allowed to leave the house for 14 days.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, all the adventures that I have been on.
Please.
None.
Not even one adventures. Not even one adventures. It's.
Oh, look, the Coles delivery driver turned up one day. That was exciting.
Very exciting times here.
Yeah, pretty exciting. And a lot of TV watching. Also pretty exciting.
Well, speaking of TV watching, I do have a rant.
Yeah.
We can talk about it a little bit here. The decision fatigue is fucking huge because we have multiple streaming services, as you do. You got to have your Netflix, you got to have your Amazon Prime, and we've also got Disney Plus, and we've also got Stan. So that's four. It's almost we might as well just buy fucking Foxtel at this point in time, right? And at least I get the sport, but whatever. It's all good. But, and I'm like, you know what? I really feel like watching certain film, doesn't matter what it is. Goodfellas, great example.
Yeah.
And
you've seen Goodfellas, right?
Too many times. I love it. It's one of my favorite.
I mean, you're Italian, so I'm hoping you would have seen Goodfellas.
Yes, definitely. It's all good.
Has Jess seen Goodfellas?
Yes, and I think that she got sick of it halfway through. It's not a girl's film.
I feel like Jess needs to watch Goodfellas with me.
That's fair enough. Well,
I feel like that would be an experience.
This is what's worse, the Taliban torture or just having to watch the Goodfellas with you? I don't know. You'll have to ask her. But it's one of those things you go, I want to watch Goodfellas. What streaming service is it on? And you just start going through them.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? You go into, it doesn't matter which one, you just start with one, right? Yeah. And you go, Amazon, I'm probably going to have to pay to rent it. So, I'll start on Netflix.
Yeah.
So you go to Netflix and you go to their...
It's not on Netflix.
The search function. And the search function, I've got two little mini rant inside this bigger rant. You start to type, go to your remote and you're typing it in what you're looking for. And the keyboard, instead of being laid out like a regular keyboard where you know where the keys are, it's alphabetical. Yeah. And it's like, that doesn't help anybody.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. But nonetheless, you start typing in GOOD, and then some films come up, but down the bottom is the film you want, like Goodfellas in the search thing. And you go, oh, great. They must have the film because it's come up on the listing. So you go down and you click on it, and then it's like, yep, Goodfellas, you complete the search function. Perfect. And you go, it must have it. This is great. We're all going to watch Goodfellas. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to get myself a whiskey. It's going to be great. You click on it, and then Goodfellas does not come up as a film that you can watch on the streaming service. And that's what really my rant is today. Why autofill the end option of exactly what I want if you don't have it? Like, that would be really great. Like, get rid of that function as anything, because
do you know what's really frustrating when you know that the film has been on Netflix?
Yeah.
But you finally come around to like, I'm going to watch Goodfellas tonight. Because Goodfellas is a film I could watch every year.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it twice in a year.
No.
Right? I don't want to oversaturate myself with Goodfellas.
Too many Goodfellas.
Yeah. But I'm sort of in that, I'm in the right mood, I'm in the right buzz, I want to watch Goodfellas. And it's not on. It's not on. Yeah, I'm like, I know it used to be on here, but it's no longer on here.
The movement back to hard copies of DVDs and stuff like that is becoming more of a reality for me. I think that eventually a lot of people will go, I actually want to buy the hard copy of the DVD. Just like vinyl's made
We're going to go back to the vinyl.
Yeah.
Sorry, Turch, could you just do me one favour?
I can certainly try.
Could you just go get a phone book so you could just sit up a little bit taller on, so I can see you on the screen?
You know what's great? I can just move the chair.
See, I've been thinking about that joke all day.
I don't know, do they even deliver phone books anymore? I can't even remember the last time I saw a phone book.
Why would you get a phone book? No one needs a phone book.
Oh,
Sorry, they were... I tell you what, they were good to rip out, and kindling and fire.
Yeah,
like when you're
just
starting
get the fire started,
and then you get the old yellow pages or white pages and rip out the contacts, and then that was very good. But I do. That's how I grew up, Turch.
Yeah, but the streaming services with this sort of, I think people are going to revert back to torrents or just downloading exactly the film that they want, or we're going to go back to buying DVDs like hard media or Blu-rays or whatever the current sort of thing is. Because even the same sort of thing, like I think streaming services work really, really well for like television shows, because instead of having to change the disc and doing all that sort of thing, it's easy just to go next episode. But when it comes to like films, it's like a one and done sort of thing. Like most people, like a streaming, unless you like watch a film every year like we do with The Dish, but The Dish has that magic because we watch it on VHS.
Oh.
And
there's nothing better than watching a film on VHS and watching all the previews.
Yeah, there's
before
just some
the major
magic,
film.
That's why you want. That's why you want
the crappy quality.
Yeah, there's that mysticism of the tape, that magic that brings it with the magnetic tape and the heads and the reading it and that sort of blurry vision and the 3:4 aspect ratio.
I tell you what, one show that I've started watching, Frontline. Have you seen Frontline?
I haven't.
See, this is the thing with lockdowns. We've got nothing to talk about but TV shows.
It's pretty terrible.
that we're watching.
It's pretty terrible.
That's it. You know what, Turch? That's it. I've got it covered. We're going to talk about the weather for the next 10 minutes.
Weather for the next 10 minutes.
That's where we're at. We're old people now.
How about we talk about this instead? So because of these lockdowns, the Bucks party, the number one the number one podcast CEO Kieran over here, the big juicy steak of a man, has had to reschedule the Bucks party of the century.
Yeah, it still will be the Bucks party of the century.
It still will be the Bucks party of the century. It might even be combined with my 30th.
so it is, I'm not going to lie, it is it's a big thing trying to organise 30 people.
I'm trying to organise 100.
Well, shut up. It's not about you, right?
Well, actually, if this is the first time I can say it is 100% about me.
No, it's not. You don't have to deal with the 30 people that I have to deal with.
Well, again, okay, continue.
All your 30 people need to do is respond with a yes or a no and turn up on the day.
Oh, they've got to bring a gift.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that.
That is true.
I have to worry about when they're turning up, because some are starting at the start of the day, some are coming in the middle of the day, some are coming in later in the day. There's a lot of moving parts that
all valid points.
you youngin' Turch wouldn't understand.
No.
I've got to talk to the venues. I've got to make sure that the appropriate catering is there at each venue. I've got to make sure that we have a function space at each of the venues. I've got to make sure that it's COVID compliant. Actually, no. Well, the venue does that, but the point is, Turch.
You know what? I'm 50% vaccinated. I've got the first shot that protects me for 70% or 80% of the vaccine. I've got another one coming in November. For me, as a guy I'm a white male, aged 18 to 36. I'm fit and I eat well, and I take my vitamins and I do my push-ups, and I've also got half a vaccine. You know what? COVID ain't killing me. There's no way in hell COVID is killing me. COVID is for me, like, I don't. Even if I get it, I'm pretty sure I'll sleep it off.
Turch, you would have been so proud of me. I had a spreadsheet. I had bookings. Deposits have been paid. It was all ready to go. People were worried that I wouldn't. And I have to admit, it's not all me. I have a.
You have a team.
I've got a team of people.
Team of men.
By that I mean, Traj and Reb.
That's right.
That's
a good team.
All organised.
Look, I put this team together, and I put you as the manager of that team. But I gave you a winning team. I gave you good men. I was a good hiring manager. I gave you good people for your team to succeed.
I wanted to actually. I can tell you this, Turch. I can tell you this. I had brief conversation with my direct opposites.
Yes, okay. The bridesmaids.
The bridesmaids, which I know some of them may listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
But fuck me, they are the most frustrating group of people. I understand now why you had so much difficulty trying to get us for a dinner together.
Yeah, that was something.
Because there was no. Okay, so 2 months out, Turch. This is your A team, right? This is the A team. Even 3 months out, but 2 months out, an emergency meeting is held with the groomsmen, which is we need to have a backup plan.
Yeah,
right. Because at this stage, we might be able to do some of the events. We might not be able to do some of the events because of capacity, yada, yada, yada. So let's actually start thinking about what an alternative, a plan B might look like. Right? And so we start to put together a plan B. Then obviously the situation gets a little bit worse in Victoria. Okay, that's fine. Let's meet again. So we've got plan A, which is what we would like to do. We've got plan B, which is still a pretty good day.
Mm-hmm.
But plan C is like, okay, we're probably limited to being in a park outdoors. Yeah. We can probably still meet, but we're probably limited to an outdoor function. So what do we do? Well, there was things like we could hire those Zorb balls. We could get a jumping castle. We could get marquees and play poker, right? Like, do you know what I mean? We're thinking even how good bloody plan C is. What parks allow alcohol? What permits do we need to get?
Hello, City Council. I've got 30 blokes that are going to drink a fuck ton of... Everyone's bringing a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah. And then I was like, because then we could probably still do the dinner. So I was even talking to people about who are going to pack up the park for us so we could, in my drunken rage, continue on to the next place and not have to worry. So Turch, all under control, right? Because I was like, even if we've got to get to plan C is still going to be a brilliant day.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, maybe it's not our plan A, but nevertheless, fuck me, I like some of these things that we were going to do on plan C.
Perfect.
Right? So then I'm like, well, I better communicate with the direct opposites.
The fairer sex.
Yeah, the bridesmaids, and sort of, this is what we're thinking of doing if such situations arise.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you're sort of in. Anyway, oh no, what are you talking about? That's not going to be a problem. We couldn't see that happening. That's not a problem. Oh, okay, whatever. That's fine. Anyway, as the date's approaching, I'm like, this is a train wreck. This is, plan A is now gone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be a genius to realize there's no way we're getting to plan A. So we're now left with plan B and plan C. And still it was, oh no, we'll just wait for the announcements. And I'm sitting here going, but it's Daniel Andrews. He's not going to allow us to have 30 people indoors, even if we are free to move around next week.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't exactly know what you girls are doing, but us guys are sort of are limited. So it's
strippers
sort of like,
can't work.
Are you girls going? Pardon?
Strippers don't work with. You've only can have 30 people in the building.
Yeah. So it's like, well, we need. So anyway, because I was like, we're fine.
I'm pretty sure, from what I can understand, everything's going to be okay. Even if we move the date, it doesn't matter, because I've talked to many blokes already, including yourself, and I've said, would anyone care if it's not before the wedding? And everyone's just gone, I don't give a single fuck. Get me out. I want to eat, I want to drink, and I want to see tits. And I'm like, perfect. Bang on. This is what I want in people. And I'm like, you know what? If we have to push it out, we can push it out. I'm sure that'll be okay. But we just have to wait for our lovely dictator of a guy to let us know when we can actually start celebrating in the most enjoyable way possible.
You would be very proud of your A team. Which, mind you, other people in the wedding still think that we're an incompetent bunch of people.
No, I've never doubted you guys for a second, and that's the confidence that I have in you guys. It's a smart
Did we turn up at 7:00 on the dot? And were we out of that for our suit fitting by 7:30?
Mate, that was something else, wasn't it?
That was efficiency. That was just...
I try to make things easy for people. But Kieran, let's go back. I want to talk about the Taliban, because they are actually my favorite people at the moment. I don't know if you saw the video. The video just came out very fresh today. After a day of taking over Kabul, the Taliban enjoy a day at the amusement park. Did you see this video?
No.
All right, let me get it up on the screen here. My God, you are going to have a fantastic. You're going to have a fantastic time here. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Here it is. So have a look. Can you see it, Kieran? Hopefully that you can. But after a day of taking over Kabul, the Taliban enjoy a day at the amusement park. Look at this. So they've...
Oh my God!
They've just they're gone to the amusement park. They're riding the bumper cars. They're having a ball of a time over here. Look at that. They're balling out. They've got the dodging cars going. A couple of them have got guns.
The bumper
it's great.
cars.
Why not? I mean, you've taken over the whole Afghanistan. Why not? And here we go. They're on another ride over here. Look at this. Look at this bad boy. They're on the merry-go-round riding the horses.
That is the shittest merry-go-round. That is a merry-go-round for 2-year-olds.
It doesn't matter, man. They're having a great time. Look at that. On the bumper cars. And
do you reckon they'll become capitalists now?
I don't know. They would have to, right? Sources say the young nationals mostly comprised of people who had helped the American government in Afghanistan. Some of them were on translators. Look at that. So they're just killing it. They're having a great time just being themselves. Just doing what they want to do. And what they really wanted to do was ride the merry-go-round and
the merry-go-rounds, yeah.
And the
so when you really want to go to the theme park, that's how you get you overtake a town in 24 hours.
Yeah, you overtake a whole country with your. But look, I was saying this to Jess. I think this is why I think this is the funniest thing ever. Because realistically, America was there for 20 plus years. They were training things up. Like, they were the Imperial Guard. They installed their own government, this and that, right? And they meant to train up their troops. They did all that job. If this was a film, you would be rooting for the Taliban because they are the rebel. They are the rebels fighting for their own country back against the empire.
It is, yeah. Well,
yeah, it is.
So does this mean we're going to see the Empire strike back?
I hope so. There's got to. I mean, look, we've already had the prequels, obviously.
Which episode of Star Wars are we up? Which movie number are?
But this is almost like the end where like this is the Ewoks taking over the Empire, basically. You know, we're at that stage. So we're going to go into episode number 7.
Right.
So we've got like 30
7,
years
8, 9.
Like, 7. Mm-hmm. So we're going to wait those because they might the Empire has to take over again. So we'll see. Because I know.
Well, did you hear that that the U.S. Army was staffing the McDonald's?
Yes.
But
Biden's already said
part of the airport that they
he's
control.
already going to chuck in 5,000 new people to go back to Afghanistan. So they literally just left, and he's gone, oh, we're going to chuck 5,000 troops to go back there.
So all up he's sending 10,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh well, they'll reopen the Taco Bell then.
Oh, isn't that amazing? I did see the McDonald's, and I'm just like, is this what the Australian taxpayer is paying for? I must admit, they must be really upset that they've just given up all their heroin that they've been growing. Like the US government used to grow heroin in Afghanistan, right? That's well known. And now Taliban have just taken it over. And now the Taliban own all the heroin.
All the heroin, the Black Hawk helicopters,
yeah.
A shit ton of guns left over.
Of course.
Did you armored vehicles.
Did you see how many, a shit ton of guns? A shit ton of... That's amazing. I've never... they always say America's never lost a war. But they've definitely... they lost Vietnam, let's face it. They lost Korea, let's face it. They've definitely
So they're now 10-2.
They've lost Afghanistan... And they obviously, they've lost just as many wars as they've won. They may have the biggest army and maybe the best at logistics, but they just can't seem to beat the Ewoks. But if that doesn't prove anything, if it doesn't prove anything else, it just proves they got the people always say, oh, if you've got a gun, you can never overthrow the government, right? If you buy a handgun or an AK-47, there's no way you can overthrow the government. Bitch, Afghanistan and Vietnam have proved that a bunch of civilians with strong beliefs in an AK-47 can 100% defeat the US Army and overthrow the government.
Did I ever tell you about what happened with the Australian-American war games?
No, please.
All right. Well, I never served in the Defence Force.
Yep.
But my sister served in the Defence Force.
Yes.
And she told me about, she participated in the war games. And so they're driving along and they see these Americans. And there's a convoy of about 8 of them. 8 cars, and they've pulled over because one of the cars have broken down. Now, this is Australian bush, right? And so this is a group of maybe about 8 Australians, right? Just not as big as the fucking 40 Americans there.
Yeah.
And they go, "What's wrong?" And it's like, "Oh, well, we've broken down." So the Australians hold them hostage. And steal all their stuff, right? Take all their equipment, because the Americans were waiting for the people that fix the cars to come in and rescue them, to help them. Whereas the Australians are like, well, if you break down, you fix it, and you continue on. So I can sort of understand how the world might actually beat America, if that is sort of the way that they function in the Defence Force.
Everyone's got, instead of having a generalist thing and then maybe a specialization, everyone is specialized. So it's like, oh, I need my car fixed. I call the mechanic, and the mechanic calls the transport person, and hops in the car with the transport person and then has to call the food person. No one just goes, I'm just going to take some rations, maybe a wrench. You take the screwdriver. Oh, you roughly know how to fix a car and winch a car. All right, well, we're all good. No, everyone is so specified, specifically trained. They can't jump from one thing to another. That's very funny. But that's the way the world is.
That is hilarious.
It's almost the way the world is within the business world as well. You become so specialized that you can't really jump from side to side. It's a bit sad. You got any more news for us?
Oh, Turch, I have. I've got some great news. Some wonderful things have been happening in the world. A man's handwriting was so bad that a bank staff didn't know he was trying to rob them. A man who tried to rob a bank in Eastbourne with a handwritten note has been jailed, according to police. Police said that Alan was given a 6-year extended sentence when he appeared in court on Friday. He entered 3 banks in the space of 2 weeks and used written notes to ask the cashiers to hand over money. According to police, his first attempt was at one of these banks, but due to poor handwriting, the employee was unable to read the note. A Sussex police person said staff at the bank later managed to read the note, which said, "Your screen won't stop what I've got. Just hand over the 10s and the 20s. Think about the other customers."
Amazing. If you're robbing a bank, especially in this day and age, like banks have to be one of the most secure places. Like, they've always been some of the most secure places and probably the hardest place to rob.
Okay.
Right? If you can't even get your handwriting right in this plan to execute, to rob a bank, and this happened 3 times.
3 times.
It's like, why would you even? At least he's trying. I mean, look, it's hard times out there. People haven't got jobs because of COVID.
I don't know the last time I actually walked into a bank.
The last time I walked into a bank was to close my accounts, like everything out of the bank, and I just wanted like that last pick, like they get that final piece of paper to say it's all done, so I never had to return there. But that was the last time, and that was like 3 years ago when we moved banks and all this sort of stuff. But you're right, like once you
I haven't closed a bank and opened a new bank, and I did it all online, without even walking in. I think,
and the other time I went into a bank was for the home loan. Because you want a little bit a bit of a personality, sort of. You want to know at least 1 or 2 people and stuff like that.
You want to know the bank manager, you know.
Yeah, you got to know someone at least. I don't know if I brought this up last time, but the South Park creators, they're going to buy Casa Bonita. I think it's happened now. So
Casa Bonita!
But here we go. A bit of coronavirus news for you. A German coronavirus vaccine inventor is being investigated. Now, when someone else sent me this, and I was like, "What? Who cares? Like, you know, whatever."
Yeah.
A physician, Wilfried Stockier, developed and produced a coronavirus vaccine in his own laboratory and administered it to volunteers without getting it approved first. Criminal proceedings are now underway. So the German magazine Der Spiegel gave this physician and entrepreneur from the north side of Lübeck quite a lot of publicity. The report tells a story of an ingenious inventor who developed an effective vaccine against the coronavirus in his private laboratory. He already had vaccinated about 100 people with it. The vaccine showed no side effects, he claimed, and was apparently 97% effective in those vaccinated. This, the report stated, had been proven in serological tests. The vaccine could reportedly be easily produced in large quantities and soon would be possible to vaccinate everyone in Germany. But instead of receiving support from the government, they filed formal criminal charges against him, and that's how they thwart him. So this guy makes a vaccine. It works. He's got all the tests to prove it. And he goes, fuck it. I'm just going to give it out to people. And he's like, he gave it out, he said, volunteers, you can come and get the vaccine I created. People voluntarily come get the vaccine, no side effects, 97% success rate that it works, and the government is suing it because they didn't approve it.
Shouldn't the government be supporting it or checking it out or
trying
to encourage this? And maybe a slap over the wrist for, go through the regulator, because the regulators, they're to stop the people that don't give a fuck. Who just want to inject people with.
Doesn't it feel like? Listen to this. According to the gentleman, the vaccine is based on a recombinant antigen that can be easily produced and cheaply in a test tube. It is comparable to existing vaccines for Hep A and B, and since it's an antigen, unlike the mRNA or vector vaccines, it's already amplified outside the body, namely in the laboratory. There is no need to fear of uncontrolled spread of genetic information introduced into the human organism. The vaccine suggests that even is not unique, but it can easily be approved and can be used and easy to make. He said he can make it quickly in a test tube. So Australia, call this gentleman here. Instead of waiting for a million Pfizer vaccines from Poland, which I'm 100% sure we're going to get jars of pickles from, just make our own.
Oh man.
Can you imagine?
I
don't understand. Yeah. But look, that's some good coronavirus news. If that doesn't prove that this is whole a scam and the government just want to make, the big pharma just want to make money off us and, got the Chinese to make the virus so they can make vaccines, I don't know what is.
I love some good conspiracy. So you've had the jab. So have you got your 5G yet?
Look, that's how I'm running this. Like we're running this through StreamYard at the moment. I'm using our 5G here, so Jess can use the NBN to watch some Netflix.
Right, but I meant like you've been injected. What's the conspiracy theory that if you've been injected with the vaccine, you have 5G or?
Yeah, so 5G was the one that caused the coronavirus, and the vaccines, and then they're like, they're going to create a vaccine and put a microchip in it, and so you can be tracked and traced via the microchip that they have to they'll give you because you have to get the vaccine.
And do you reckon people who believe that are still walking around with their iPhone or their Apple Watch, which is tracking where they go anyway?
For sure. It's so stupid. It's we carry one around with, like, I've got the Fitbit, I've got the Samsung phone. It tracks where I move. Like, if you go onto Google right now and go Maps and go get directions to somewhere, it roughly knows where you are, like, as a starting point.
I think I said this last time. I think it was like the Taliban a couple of years ago knew where the Americans were, one of their secret bases in Afghanistan, because all this Strava data showed people running the same lap, like they were running on the oval.
The Taliban are as stupid as people think they are, mate. They're modernizing, they're updating, they're upgrading all the time. Far out.
Which is just like, that's just hilarious.
Can you imagine if the Taliban get more vaccinated people than we do in a quicker amount of time? Because they're going to, like, literally force people to do whatever they want. If they go, you know what, we're going to beat coronavirus quicker. And they literally will line people up at gunpoint and vaccinate these people. And they get like an 80 to 90% vaccine rate overnight.
And then
have to wait 12 weeks for another shot? Fuck it.
Next 2 months they've opened and they've got a great civilization, flourishing, and we're still in lockdown here in Melbourne.
Yeah, I know. I still can't believe you got some more news.
I do. A woman is suing McDonald's after complaining that a cheeseburger advert was so irresistible it caused her to break her fast during Lent.
I did see this one, but continue on. I have so many thoughts.
Now, you're a religious person, Turch. Have you done Lent before?
As a kid, I did. I gave up,
Why?
You give up, little things, this and that. As a kid, you know, I went to all the Catholic schools and all that sort of stuff, so you try to do the right thing via moralistic God back in the day, but I haven't done Lent since then, so it's like 25 years without Lent.
Okay, all right, fair enough. As a man who I've never done Lent, a woman who broke her religious fast has blamed McDonald's. She is suing over an advert featuring cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets, which she said caused her to break her fast during Lent. She's an Orthodox Christian, and she was trying to stay away from meat and other animal products during the 6-week period leading up to Easter in 2019. The case was first reported by Russian state media and picked up by Western outlets, including Fox News, who wrote that she abstained from eating meat for a month, but then the enticing McDonald's advert made her give in. Lent is a very strict period which many devout Christians are expected to sacrifice the eating of meat, poultry... Oh, wow. I thought you just gave up one thing. Meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy for the entire season.
Oh,
do you meant to do all of that?
That's very extreme, no. The Lent that I know is you give up one thing for the 40 days that it is. So a lot of people would give up chocolate or something like that. And
Right. Well, she says when she saw the advertising banner, she could not help herself. She visited McDonald's and bought a cheeseburger.
Amazing.
She's suing McDonald's for $14.
Oh, that is... How little fucking willpower do you have? How... You know what? It's one of those things that you go, oh, I haven't eaten these things for a really long time. Like, you're on a diet, and you go, I haven't eaten these things for a really, really long time. And you go, I'm not just going to have a burger. I'm going to find the best burger and have that. But this woman had so little willpower. I would love to know her BMI, number one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Secondly, this woman had so little willpower that she couldn't resist a McDonald's ad. Have you ever looked at a McDonald's ad and thought, I really need it?
Probably, yeah.
But when you weren't drunk or high?
No, not really.
No. It's like Macca's ad, another thing, you know. But I get it. When you're in a certain state, you can absolutely go, I definitely need McDonald's. I need some McNuggets in my life. But I've never just been like, I see a billboard or whatever ad she saw. I'm like, well, look, I've been really good.
There was one time I needed chicken nuggets because I went to a wedding which didn't feed me. And so
what a surprise
I had to
that
buy
was.
McDonald's on the way home.
What a surprise that was.
It was a surprise wedding, which didn't provide a dinner.
But you know what I like? Lent is before Easter. That's the time building up to Easter. So she's only suing McDonald's now, or was she trying to do Lent now?
No, she's doing Lent in 2019. It's just she's suing them for the equivalent of $14, which is the meal.
That's a very expensive cheeseburger meal. How much is a cheeseburger meal here?
I don't know.
It can't be more. That's a Big Mac meal is like $10, isn't it?
But she probably bought she bought a meal plus chicken nuggets.
A meal plus the chicken nuggets. All right then.
Yeah, she didn't just buy meal. She's bought a few items there, Mr. Turch.
Out of all the burgers at McDonald's, would you ever go, I'm going to buy a cheeseburger?
I'll tell you what. Back in year 10, I picked Out to Red as one of my subjects. And we went on this 10-day hike. And we were promised that on our way home from the 10-day hike, we would stop at McDonald's on the freeway. And I was like, you beauty, because I'm going to get myself a McCoz.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love the
beetroot and the bacon.
Going to get the McCoz. And I tell you what, while I was hiking, and there's moments, hiking through Mount Bogon and all of that high country, which, can be very strenuous and you're exhausted and etc. Thinking from day one onwards that, when this is over, I'm going to be eating a McCoz burger. when I got there and had my McOz burger, it was the best McOz burger I've ever had.
Don't you hate it when... Is it because the McOz burger's not there all the time? It's like a seasonal product, right?
Well, back then it was.
Yeah, now it's a standard, I think.
No, now it's a seasonal
now
burger.
It's seasonal. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you hate it
But back when I was in year 10, it was a all the time burger.
All the time burger. Do you don't you hate it when you go to a fast food place and you go, I really want that seasonal item, because you see it once on TV like ages ago and they're finally at the fast food place and you go, yeah, I'm going to get it. And for me, this was, remember when they were doing the double Big Macs and the Big Macs had, instead of having 2 patties, had 4 patties?
Wow. And
I thought, you know what? Just to be ridiculous, I was really drunk. And Jess apparently walked into the place because I went somewhere else. And she came back out there and she called me and went, they don't have it anymore. And I was so sad. I was so sad. And the McDonald's didn't have the double Big Mac. And now looking back at it, I'm like, that was probably a good thing.
You don't think to get 2 Big Macs and then build your own double Big Mac?
It's not the same. I think if you're going to McDonald's and taking apart 2 burgers to make your singular 1 burger by yourself, I think that's where I draw the line. Let them do it. They're the professionals. That's what we pay them, whatever we pay them an hour. Let them do it.
I think, Turch. Shit. Yeah, but okay. What's the best? Actually, this is something that I think our listeners should write to us and let us know.
Yeah.
What combinations do you do? Because have you done the chips and ice cream? Like you get the chips, but you dip it in the ice cream?
See, I don't get that. One, I'm not a big sweets person.
Uh-huh.
And I have tried it before, but it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing.
Right. Well, what's your combination?
I don't mind the chip. I don't mind... Nah, so I'm a real simple man. I just get the Big Mac, medium Big Mac.
Uh-huh.
I get a Sprite. That's probably... where I think the Sprite at McDonald's is something fancy. I don't know what they do with that.
I understand why your parents don't love you when you're not the favourite child, because you get Sprite.
Sprite is... Okay, McDonald's Sprite is fantastic. What, do you get Coke? That's it, nice boring old Coke over there. Or do you go the Diet Coke?
Yeah. Most of the time...
Or Fanta. Actually, no, you're a Fanta man.
Coke.
I can see you.
Fanta. Every now and then... Fanta.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't had Fanta in years. But then and then me and Jess share a 20-pack of nuggets.
Actually, most times, you get 15, Jess gets 5.
No, we do the 10 each.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Or the 24-pack, whatever's the cheap one.
Most times, I actually get a bottle of water with my meal, because then I tell myself I'm a fucking idiot because I'm getting junk food.
Yeah,
the water is not going to make me. The water is not going to make me healthier.
I'm so sure at one stage McDonald's used to sell $1 bottles of water.
Yeah, they did.
They did. Great, and then
the cheeseburger used to be $2.
Yeah, something like that. And then this was when you could actually go to a shopping center. I was like, I just want a bottle of water. There's a Macca's here. Great, I have a gold coin. Here we go. Go down there, and they're like, $3.60. I went, sorry?
And did you go, no, $1 bottle of water?
Well, $1 bottle of water, right? No, no, not anymore. I'm like, what are you going to do?
$3.60. That is just
It would have been cheaper for me to buy like a small cheeseburger meal. That's scary when water is more expensive than processed meat, a bun, fries, labor. Good for it.
Yeah. It's still no hutchies though. It's still no kebab at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Kebabs
or 2
is one of those
or
things,
3.
isn't it? Why do kebabs taste so good at 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't know.
There's just something phenomenal about it. So a couple of years ago, when I was getting fit again, I remember seeing I go to the gym, I have an appraisal, yada, yada, yada. I'm sitting down with a person who's going through questions, and my diet was actually pretty good. So, what do you have for breakfast? Yeah, that's good. What do you have for lunch? Yeah, that's good. What do you have for dinner? Yeah, snacks. Oh, you're pretty healthy. Is there anything else? Well, I'll probably drink 3 times a week and have a kebab about 3 times a week.
So how many calories is that? 4,000 calories and extra 12,000 calories over.
Yeah,
over
so
I
was like, okay, so the kebabs are the thing you shouldn't be doing. I'm like, oh, but they're so good.
All in moderation is the word that they use.
Yeah, but we used to go out to Eagle Bar Thursday night. Yeah. Probably out somewhere Friday night.
You say that,
Saturday night.
but we were also 10 years younger, and our metabolisms weren't old man metabolisms that we have now. We used to drink all night and then wake up the next morning and be okay at like 9 o'clock and go to university. Now, if we have like 3 or 4 drinks now, tomorrow morning we'll wake up and go, oh man, I'm gonna log into work. Well, I'm not actually gonna work. Oh, I slept a bit funny. My neck's a bit old. Oh, sitting there at a Zoom call with all my workmates with a heat pack on my shoulder and smelling of heat gel and stretching every 20 minutes.
Fucking hell, man. That's we're not that old.
The body is deteriorating. I think years and years of playing indoor soccer and all that sort of stuff has really done a number on the old knees because they're not as good as they used to be.
Right, Turch, when the world opens up again, I think we need to do some kind of sport. We only do One Take Podcast team.
Yeah, sure.
Whether it's volleyball, whether it's netball, whether it's
all these
basketball.
All these things that tall people are good at. Basketball, netball, volleyball.
I don't know. Okay, let's do darts.
Darts.
We can probably build a team with darts.
You know what? Darts. If we're going to do something like that would it takes a long time. I took Dweezil for a walk on the golf course on the weekend, with Jess. And I go to her, can you understand why men love golf? Like, I had this epiphany of why men love golf. 1, it's away from their partners. 2, it's deadly quiet. 3, the banter with the other boys. 4, you get to have a drink if you want. 5, I wish you could take your dog. That'll happen one day. But number 6 is the one that really made me go, fuck, I'm getting old. Men enjoy nicely cut grass.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They do.
I gotta admit, I walk around the neighborhoods here, and when I see some nicely cut grass, or it's better grass than that buffalo grass.
Yeah.
And you're like,
oh, it's looking good. Or someone just freshly mows their grass, and you're just like, it's good. Good, nice edges and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think I've come to that age now where I appreciate, when I was 20, I didn't appreciate.
That's it. Change the podcast name. Freshly cut grass.
Freshly cut grass. I didn't appreciate a lawn back in the day. Nowadays, I'm like, fuck yeah. Look at that. That's some good shit right there. Oh, I'm digging that. There's a game that just came out. I wasn't even going to bring this in, but now I have to. There's a game that just came out that's called Lawnmower Simulator, and it's just you cutting the grass on a ride-on lawnmower. And now I'm thinking, well, fuck yeah, man! I wouldn't mind playing that. I could see myself doing it.
Someone might get it for their wedding.
Oh, I used to, back in the day when I was living with my parents, I used to help out and do some gardening. And one of the things that, even back then, I realized I didn't enjoy it. And over time, I started to enjoy cutting the grass. Something happens in a man's brain. I don't know what it is.
So when I was living on 25 acres, for some reason, we didn't have a ride-on lawnmower. So I fucking hated cutting the grass. But when it came to whippersnipping, oh man, I loved that.
That fine, beautiful. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand what's going on here.
That was something. That was something, and then the chainsaw. using the chainsaw. Oh,
but just
there's something satisfying.
But just a saw and cleaning up, like, I clean up the front yard and the backyard and all that sort of stuff and all that overhanging trees and stuff. Just cutting them down and looking at that handiwork. I don't know, there's something about gardening. We're going to change the whole show, man. This show's going to be about gardening.
Well, this is the turning point where we've now become old and boring.
You know what?
And we really there's no difference there's no difference between us and ABC now.
That's true. I don't think we'd be as bored if the Taliban had taken over and I was allowed to do whatever I want as a man. Yeah, I think we could. How do you get in contact with the Taliban? Seriously, if they could take over a whole, they took over a whole country that was perfectly trained by the American army for 20 years and all the government guns, right? Australia has no guns. How easy would they be able to take over our country?
Yeah, see, what we've got is that we're a big country.
Yeah, but if you take over Melbourne and Sydney, you're done. That is 90% of our population.
Yeah, but I think they'd get here and see how laid back we are and go, we'll do it tomorrow.
No. They're on a mission, mate. They want everybody to join their caliphate.
They wouldn't have it because they would see our dictator and go, well, that is a dictator. They don't need any other dictators. We've already got a dictator.
I tell you what. Now, Kieran, I've only got one thing left. Did you know that lots of celebrities don't shower every day?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I just thought that was something you did every day.
Yeah, that's part of a routine, right?
Fuck, I sometimes have 2 showers a day.
Apparently, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher don't shower every day. Dax Shepard and his wife don't shower every day. There's been a few others. And I've just come out and just said, I don't bathe or shower or even bathe or shower my children every day. We only do it every second day or third day. And I'm like, fucking hell. When they say, people that are so far up their own ass, they think their shit don't stink?
Uh-huh.
How much more up their own ass can celebrities be? They've taken the metaphor and made it a reality.
But you shower.
Yeah. Don't you feel dirty even just during the day of doing basic things?
If I wake up on the weekend, right, and I haven't had a shower by 10 a.m., I feel dirty.
Well, see, I shower.
And then sometimes I'm what do you call it? I'm going to go for a run at 1 o'clock. Or blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to have a shower before my run. But I feel dirty.
Yeah. Especially after exercise or just going for a walk or leaving the house for a while or if you do a really big shit. How can you live with 2 or 3 days? You're taking shits. Maybe they have a bidet. It doesn't sound like
I had 2 showers today.
I don't know. But The Rock?
Yeah.
The Rock? Dwayne the Rock Johnson? Twice a day shower, man. But he goes to the gym all the time, so he sweats and actually does work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. That's weird.
Oh, well.
Weird. Do you know what they're called? They're called ferals.
Don't give the ferals a bad name. That's a great television show.
Turch, I got one more article.
Quick, go for it.
South Korean eco-friendly toilet turns poop into power and digital currency.
We are so far behind. Genius? We are so far behind on toilet technology. We don't have bidets. We don't have this. We don't have. Why is it a first world country like us so far behind on toilet technology?
I don't know, but the BV toilet, which has a vacuum pump that transfers human waste into an underground tank, and then that waste is subsequently converted to methane by a microorganism in the tank, which serves as a source of energy. This energy is then used to power a gas stove, a hot water boiler, and solid oxide fuel. Is that not just amazing?
You know, now Elon Musk, eat your heart out. I know you wanted to put 100 million batteries or whatever it was in South Australia, but what we really need is more men taking a shit at work. Oh, and with that, Kieran, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Do it for your country.
Yeah, do it for your country. That's right. That's right. For all you lovely wankers out there, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, and everywhere else that you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to send us a death threat or a rant, make sure you record it and send it to the We Only Do One Take podcast at gmail.com email address. Kieran, thank you so much for being the best co-host a man can get.
Woo! And can we go out with our awesome theme tune?
Oh, I think we can get that one up. And we will see you... Oh, I've got to get it up again. I've lost it. I'll put it in. We'll see you next Thursday. I'll put it in post. People would have heard it by now.
Really brilliant. God, this fucking lockdown. Is it just? It was. When I got COVID tested this afternoon.
I'm stopping the recording, by the way.
Yeah, when I got hang on, stop. When I got COVID tested this afternoon.